Hi.
What is your full name?
Elijah Mercer. Just call me Elijah Mercer.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
How much do you weigh?
120 pounds.
What is your strategy for the fight?
Just to go for the... Not hit the face? Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win?
I don't know.
Who do your fans think will win?
I got more votes.
What does that mean?
I made it so on Instagram more people voted that I was gonna win. Although I don't.
How hard are you training?
Pretty hard.
How many days a week? What?
Like 5. Taking 2 days off.
What is your strategy for training?
It's actually working on speed, not strength, because, working on more on speed.
What happens if you lose the fight?
Then, I lose the fight. So. We never made a bet. I was just challenged.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Good luck, Jinja Ninja, on the fight.
Subscribe to W Games on YouTube and Twitch. Do it. I got it. Guys! No, I'll try to cut it. How is that thing? I'm good, Mom. No, he's holding on his little stems on the end. I can't. He was holding on to these things. You gotta pour it. You gotta like go over. Simon is gonna break. I got that on video. Back down. I'm going to the front of the boat. It's not a picture. What up? Oh, it's a burn. I really kind of want to spit at it.
Oh, yo, that was so close.
Yo, you turning back to the cup?
I dare someone to go over there.
What is retarded?
Not always.
See, just said we're going in reverse. It's like... Hanging out. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, a lot of birds. Welcome to the water, dog. See birds everywhere. Hold me, check. Channel marker.
I know that. Imagine walking and standing on the roof. Oh no, I'm letting this fly.
Oh no, my paper flew out of my hand.
Oh no. Oh, you're smart. Oh no, we're gonna caught on this car. Dang it.
Oh no, I dropped it in the engine of this car. While
We just got off the dock, as you can see. This weirdo.
I didn't know that was really awesome.
And all these weirdos. And we're going to go watch someone shoot a gun. So that'll be fun. Have anything to say, kid?
he is.
No.
That's a good answer right there. You know what y'all should do? Y'all should go follow me on YouTube, Hayden Hughes. I have a better channel called What the Heck, You know, it's like, what better? Excuse me! Hey, bring it up, y'all, bring it up! This is a good clickbait. We're clickbait.
It's a leprechaun.
Oh, it's live.
Clickbait.
Someone else.
Clickbait alert.
In like every single one of your videos.
He broke it. ASMR.
Jeffrey.
But I don't think everybody wants to squeeze in. I think we all want our own personal space. Like,
Dude, I can still be your camera.
No.
The cameraman.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very great.
Yeah, I guess it would hurt. Okay, it's not really bad. Go forward. Keep going. Yeah, we're gonna be Hey guys, there's some more space over here. If there are seats, you can go ahead and sit in them.
Yes, Sarah.
Just sit where you are.
Yes, Sarah.
Go ahead and have a seat. If there's a seat, sit. Just somebody sit. Alright. So we got all the seats filled.
Back.
So come on back, make sure you get longer this way. People are coming to the back. Don't go
And then she said there wasn't seats.
Just grab, make sure you have a hold of, you can hold on to something.
Lit.
Not my hand. We can take a few more back here. There's handles back here. Come on. Come on. Grab a hold. Just make sure you've got a firm handhold.
How do you feel about that movie? Well, what's your opinion on that movie?
It sucked. You've never been on a subway in New York?
I've never been on a subway.
Well, you had Subway though, right?
No, oh god. I'm tripping.
Okay, well, it's not Subway.
Falls, I'm done.
Dad, you pronounced Subway?
Two people.
You're saying that again?
Not me. Not me. Simon. 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 How do you feel after falling out of the tree? I can't back up. There's no move. What'd you say? That's good. Great. Howdy.
At this point, you know her.
Hey, Daniel. Excuse me.
I'm not taller than everybody. How was y'all doing that? How did that go?
I like the sidewalk best.
Stop pushing me over.
Simon!
Simon, start it.
Simon!
Start it!
1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
13.
14. Yeah, you remember where the go-to on that grassy area? You fell out of the gravel.
Look at this beautiful place. It's made of wood. And this is a majestic barrel.
Are you enjoying that?
No. That is just, oh,
When you pulled it out, that hurt.
it's so bright.
My lips hurt now, Emma.
It's the meta. What, Daniel?
Thank God I packed deodorant. I feel like I'm gonna get sweaty.
Where?
My back.
No, not you.
Yeah. It's so hot.
Yeah, I got my passport. And I wanted to math.
This is Simon. He jumped out of a tree.
I did. It was fun.
He now has back problems till the age of 40.
I did.
Oh, you're not? Okay, all right, so you can go on. It is one of our original buildings. Just keep your drinks tightly capped at all times. Just go in to the back door of the house. And is the Cooper's house around? The Cooper's is here too. Okay. Yeah, again, you're going to have to go into. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because the house itself is significant in that it is one of our 88 original buildings. That house was built in 1755. It is the house of George Wythe. He is a founding father. He's a lawyer. He taught Thomas Jefferson the law in this very house. He's a signer of the Declaration of Independence.
What are you scared of?
Horses.
Why?
When I'm behind them, because they can kick really hard.
And you know what else?
I had a 4th grade teacher. She owned horses. She scared me because she's like, oh, a guy tried to come in and steal my horses, and then the horses like almost killed him.
So you're not scared of falling out of trees, but you're scared of horses.
I mean, like, I'm cautious.
Well, guess what? There's a horse right there.
I told you you were gonna fall out of that tree. I don't care.
And I told someone that I was gonna film it. And
when he was on that branch, he was on 2 branches off on that branch.
I said someone's gonna fall and I'm gonna film it and get great clickbait. That's right. If you haven't figured out, you've been clickbaited.
How can you get clickbait if all you have is my feet?
I'm not
It is hot as junk out here. Walter, are you recording?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Hey! So I'll be on YouTube?
Sure.
Alright.
Watch us prank, what's his name? Seth.
I'm not filming that.
What? You suck.
Until Seth reacts, then I'll film it, because I'll probably kick you. And that's it. What are you going to do?
Like he's not here.
Alrighty.
I don't hate Daniel.
That must make a win.
Gentlemen, go inside. Inside. Listen. You go inside, you're going to be quiet. Someone's probably in there I'm going to talk to, so be respectful of their time.
Echo. Hello. Is it me you're looking for?
Man, these must have been midgets.
Yes, it is.
Hi, Walker's Vlog. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Bye.
What did you say, Daniel?
They have midget doors.
Ethan, can you even fit?
It's true. I mean, dude, like.
That's so cool.
I don't know if I'll break these stairs.
Somebody might die on the stairs.
Another crate over here, over there. Welcome to the magazine. As you folks can probably guess with a quick look around the place here, the magazine is a store of military supplies. You can see all kinds of firearms, close-range combat tools, coats, drums, spice, canteens, cartridge boxes, barrels of gunpowder, barrels of musket balls, and a couple of artillery pieces around the room as well. Traditionally, this magazine would keep anything except for the food or medicine, more or less all of the supplies I just mentioned. Now, this building was built in 1715, and most of it has been here since then. It's one of our few original buildings in town, which is kind of surprising. shelves that you all see everything on currently can be stored in the crates scattered around the room instead. Now, during the beginning stages of the Revolutionary War in 1775, we got records there being more than 7,000 muskets in this floor alone. So you folks probably guessed that we know way we can fit 7,000 on these shelves here today. I've got maybe about 160 or so right now. Much less than I had back then. And then finally, the third floor upstairs is for all of the lightweight supplies you can see on that shelf across from us. Again, pens, coats, drums, canteens, cartridge boxes, bayonets, scabbards, and so on and so forth. Usually it will be the only supplies people want to take up 2 flights of stairs and keep up there. And as for a bit more information about this particular floor right here, all the firearms that you can see behind me on this side of the room over here, they all load and fire just fine. They're not really very old. Most of what I have behind that glass barricade over there are the original pieces, and some of them are about as old as this building, in fact, about 303 years old. I've got a question for you all today. You all want to know how a musket works?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So in the 18th century, we figured out the most effective way of having working firearms by a flintlock mechanism. Meaning I've got a piece of flint, that's this particular stone right here. When I pull the trigger, flint will fly forward, strike this steel can here, drag off some sparks. Those sparks are going to land on the gunpowder that I pour into this pan and cause it to burn up through a tiny hole in the side of the barrel to all the gunpowder inside the barrel. Once all the gunpowder inside burns up, it pushes out your musket ball, and that's how you have your shot. So, a good soldier can load and fire this musket in about 15 seconds in battlefield conditions. If he has to talk about it, it'll take him about a minute or so. Very first thing you do when you load and fire, pull this particular piece back to what we call half cock. Essentially, that's your safety mechanism, as you folks can see now, I'm pulling the trigger. But nothing is moving, all the parts are locked in place. As in the 18th century, you cannot go off half cock. After I've done that, then I'll reach back into a cartridge box, black leather box like those ones up over there. On the inside is a wooden block with holes drilled in it for prepackaged paper cartridges, paper tubes that look just like this one over here. Each cartridge holds everything you need for a single shot. You've got a lead musket ball in this section right here, and then about 100 to 140 grains of gunpowder up the rest of the way. We'll take the cartridge, tear it open, and then pour just a little bit of that gunpowder into that pan. Once you've got enough gunpowder in that pan, you shut the steel to lock it in place. You'll drop the musket down to the ground, take the rest of the cartridge, flip it over, and then drop it down the front of the firearm like that. After it's all placed in, you'll take out the rammer here, flip it around, ram down that cartridge just to make sure it's at the bottom of your musket barrel. Return your rammer, bring your musket back up, pull it to full cut, take off the hammer stall. This other tag is your second safety. Point the musket and pull the trigger. Flint strike steel, drag off the sparks, musket shoots. Now, do you folks have any questions?
You said every 15 seconds they could reload these?
Good soldiers are expected 15 seconds. That means there are some folks who can do it faster. Go ahead.
Were the swords on the wall also used in combat?
Yes, sir. Now, swords in the 18th century will usually go to one of 3 different kinds of people. They've got officers, and those kind of swords are meant to be very decorative, more or less ceremony pieces. Now, they still work in close combat, but they're not quite as good as the next 2 swords we're about to talk about. Right above officer swords, we've got artillery swords. Those ones kind of be a bit more shaped like machetes. I don't actually have any in the magazine today, but they're meant for chopping through underbrush, as when you're moving your cannons through the woods or through swamps, you want to make sure there's no terrain in the way. So you're going to have one of those to clear the way for your cannon. Finally, the most effective swords in the 18th century are cavalry swords. Very big, very heavy swords, and most of the swords behind the pole arms over there that I have are all cavalry swords, designed to catch the momentum of cavalry charge and inflict some serious damage. Any other questions or curiosities for me, folks? Well, if you folks have no more questions, you're welcome to explore the room at your leisure, take pictures as you like, ask any questions. Now, if you folks are interested in seeing a cannon fire today, we'll be firing that cannon outside in front of the magazine at 4:20. So come back here then, you'll see us fire the cannon. Oh, no, I lied. I'm sorry, not cannon. We're doing infantry today. Not artillery. We're doing infantry. We'll be loading and firing our muskets on demonstration and marching on parade in the yard. So if you want to see that today, come back at 4:20. And launch it as we switch off.
Musket, like this one. It is going to be smooth on the inside of this barrel as it is on the outside. So this is not a terribly accurate firearm. Compounding this is the fact that when you load your smoothbore military musket, what you're going to be firing is an undersized projectile. So you really don't know what part of the end of barrel that's going to hit when it leaves. So this weapon has an effective range, meaning you're going to hit projectile, making that rifle capable of reaching out and hitting a target at 300 yards. So why on earth do you all suppose we would deliberately design our military weapons to be so inaccurate? We do have rifling. What's that? Absolutely. So the two big things, we can shoot more, we can shoot faster. Now exploring what we mean when we say we can shoot more. Now whenever you fire any firearm in the history of all firearms, ever, you're going to get carbon. That's all this black sooty stuff. Now this is going to be building up inside your firearm. It's going to be building up inside this barrel. Over time it's going to clog it up or foul it up. But remember, we got a smoothbore weapon with an undersized projectile, so who cares? Just keep on loading and firing. Chances are with this musket, you're going to run out of ammunition before you clog it up. However, with a precision firearm like a rifle, in some cases in as little as 8 shots, you'll have so much carbon clogging your rifle you physically can't jam any more ammunition down the barrel. And who wants to walk onto a battlefield where the weapon only fires 8 times? So that's one big failing of a rifle versus a musket. And the other, of course, will, as we said for faster, is speed. If you are using a civilian rifle, what is normally your target?
Animals.
Animals, right? Maybe a deer. So if you're going deer hunting, how many shots do you typically get at a deer? One. So who cares how long it takes to load a rifle? It'll take you 3 weeks for all it matters. So because of that, by design, it's going to take you about 1.5 minutes or so to load and fire your rifle. Whereas a military musket like this, I heard you all shouting it over there, how long should it take you to load this?
15 seconds.
There we go, 15 seconds. So if your life is on the line, what would you rather have? A gun that fires every 1.5 minutes or 15 seconds?
15 seconds.
Exactly, so speed, reliability. All, of course, at the expense, naturally, of accuracy, which obviously the musket is not as accurate as a rifle. But how important is accuracy on the battlefield? And the answer is not very, and we'll demonstrate why. So, when it comes to loading and firing your musket, the way you're going to do this is by the manual. So you'll be given the command, prime and load. Bring the weapon up off your shoulder, down to your side. You'll then open the pan. Reaching to your cartridge box, you'll take out a cartridge, just like this one. Cylindrical paper tube, and if this was a live round, and of course it's not, but if this was live, where my pinky is would be the bulbous shape of a musket ball. Now to access this, put it in your mouth, wipe, tear, spit. Pour a little bit of the gunpowder into the pan, then shut the pan. After this, pass the weapon about, and load the rest of that cartridge all down the barrel. Now to propel that cartridge down next to my primer, I have come issued with a ramrod. So, at which point the weapon is now primed, loaded, and ready to fire. To let my sergeant know that, I put it back in my shoulder. So the next command will be, make ready, bring the weapon up off your shoulder, full cock all the way back, present, aiming in what we hope is the general direction of the enemy, and what do you suppose the last command is?
Shoot.
Fire.
Now,
That's awesome.
when that weapon
No
fired,
gunpowder.
you notice a large amount of what came out of the end of the barrel?
Smoke.
Exactly. Smoke that some of you here on the end are having to deal with. So, obviously there's a lot of smoke. So if there are 2,000 of us, all lined up, elbow to elbow, 1,000 men across, 2 people deep, firing one shot approximately every 12 to 15 seconds, after about a minute or two under the right weather conditions, we just produced what in front of us?
A lot of fog.
Smoke screen, right? A fog. So, the enemy, 150 yards that way, is doing the same thing. So what are you aiming at?
Nothing.
Smoke. So because of that, who cares how accurate your weapon is? What you want is speed and reliability. Thus the deliberately designed military musket. Even if you think about any military, in the history of all militaries, volume is always going to be the most important. If you think about the Army right now today, what do most soldiers carry? Do they all have weapons that fire quickly but aren't necessarily the most accurate? Or do they all have really slow firing weapons that are the most accurate in the world?
They all have a little bit of
First one.
They all have the first one, right? Where they all have weapons that fire very quickly. So those other men that carry incredibly accurate weapons are assets on the battlefield, but they're not the mainstay of a fighting force. So with all that said, what are some things you guys are curious about? Be it about warfare, muskets, anything like that.
We just want to see you shoot the gun.
Fair enough.
The musket were to fail, how long would it take to repair it or get another one?
Depends on what's wrong with it. Now, when it comes to the Continental Army, getting another one could be incredibly difficult. You'll notice even myself, as a Continental Army soldier, I'm carrying a British musket. Because we as Americans really don't make these before the American Revolution. Because why would we? If we want more military guns, we send away to England. They ship us more. But England's not inclined to give us any more guns. So because of that, as Americans, we're using British guns, French guns, Spanish guns, German guns. But at the very small end, we might be using some American guns, kinda, but not really. Because we lack the infrastructure to make a whole lot of guns. We've been relying on Great Britain. So, because of that, if your gun gets broken or lost, hopefully you have a replacement. or you might be breaking into some loyalist's house and stealing his gun. So, as part of how you're going to fix this, there are going to be things that are very quickly fixable. So the flint. When it comes to the flint, this is a rock. And this might shatter in half. Just as I was firing here, it might break in half on the first shot. So in my cartridge box here, I have a tool called a wide tool like this that I can actually use to unscrew this flint, and I have spare flint right here that I can just change it out if need be. That might take me about a minute, maybe a little bit less, depending on my motivation. But either way, I can change out the flint pretty quick. If the vent gets clogged up, so that little hole that goes right into the barrel, well, I've got my pick right here that I can just pick out that vent really quick. And again, that might take me a second or two. So it depends on what's actually wrong with it as to how long it will take to repair. Anything on the battlefield, you're looking at maybe less than a minute though. Yes?
The thing on your belt, is that like, put it on the end, and does that like help if the enemy's like really close?
So when it comes to this is the bayonet, developed in Bayonets, France, hence the name. Now when it comes to the bayonet, practically speaking, it turns your musket into a fighting spear. Now that's practically speaking. What it really does is excel at carrying the battlefield. Which you understand, we've all, I'm sure, heard the term, the idea of taking the field or taking the battlefield. Why in the world does that matter? It matters not because of the field itself. It matters because why are you fighting there? So I want you to think about if you were trying to defend that magazine. Now imagine that you know that I'm attacking from that direction. So you say, well, we're going to fight right here. That way, for me to take over the magazine, I have to go through your army. Now if I should beat you and take this field, what is now standing between me and that magazine?
Bayonet.
Well, if I've beaten you already, there's nothing, right? So that's why taking the field is crucial. It's not because of the field itself, it's because it's what's on the other side. What's on the other side could be Boston or Philadelphia or anything like that. And you're partially correct in that the bayonet is what we used to take that field. So if you can imagine all of us lined up right now, what are those, about maybe 25 of you or so? 27. 27? Okay. So if there's 27 of us all lined up, right? And the enemy only has, say, 10 guys. We would right then assume, well, we're going to win. We have more than they do. But let's say that we're all lined up in two ranks, facing all that way. So we're all lined up, 13 and 14, facing that way. Now let's imagine the enemy's sneaky, though. Maybe they snuck around us, maybe hiding behind fences or a tree or something. And now those 10 guys basically rush that line. Now as they're running at you with spears, how many of the 27 of you can immediately turn and fire at them? Yeah, just the two on the end, right? So those two guys on the end, they turn, they fight. Back it up this end a little bit. Back it up, back it up. You want to be behind this line of buckets as much as possible.
That's a bucket.
Yes, these are in fact buckets.
In about a minute and a half. This one can pump about 2 gallons per second, so it's pretty fast. This one is a slightly smaller version than the original, but this one should be able to reach the bottom of the magazine real quickly. Yeah.
feel?
it's underwater. It'll change probably when it comes above water.
How do you
Now it's
feel?
above water.
There you go. Remember,
Are you feeling the burn?
He has to get leverage. I did.
Do you feel the
Yeah,
burn?
but you also weigh way more than
10-year-old
me.
boy or girl. So if you're 10 years old and you can't do this, you'll learn very fast. All right, fair enough.
They should make the hole smaller so someone can take it.
10-year-old girl is stronger than
He just got, okay, you got
All right, look. First of all, I want to make this clear. Even if it matters if a girl is strong, don't make it sound like it's a bad thing. Cause guess what? I'm a girl.
And they can beat you up because you probably
And
aren't
they
strong.
can beat all of y'all up for saying it's a girl's job. So try again. Now, does anybody else want to do this? I got one more shot.
Noah,
One more.
do it. I believe in you. How do you feel?
Yeah, Mason. Mason, I want to do it. I want to do it. No, we.
What the freak did you do to your leg?
Mosquito bites.
Sure, because you didn't fall out of a tree.
No, I mean, like, y'all would have noticed it, too. Wait, hold on, what?
No. Alright. So, 2/3 of our time is spent doing stuff that's boring. This building, how old do you think this building is?
200 years.
200? Or 400?
300.
600? Your history teacher is standing right there. He brought you to Colonial Williamsburg.
600 euros.
And you said the same badge anyway. Alright. Look at the building. It's only about a year old.
What is the closest I said 12?
So why does it look old?
Because that's how you made it.
Yes, because we use old tools. Alright. You can be taught. Anyway. It's made to look old. It's called a saw house. What do you think we do under this?
Saw.
Exactly. Again, grown-ups ask me the question, what do you do under a saw house? This building, too, I'll be done in a minute. I get paid by the word, so please don't take money out of my pocket. I don't waste a word. But I'm spending my time talking to you right now. There's a reason. You know how to tie your shoes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Tie your shoes 6,000 times. That can be boring or difficult.
Boring.
Boring all day.
2/3 of our time is spent doing stuff like making shingles, sawing lumber, chopping round logs square. People ask us, where do you get the square tree from? You ever seen a square forest? Not on the video game? Alright. This log that you're standing next to, and that post you're leaning next to, been chopped flat using axes. Everybody out here would be familiar with doing this work. Could a woman do this work?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. If you were enslaved in the 18th century, could you be a carpenter? Yes. White, black, native, free or enslaved, male or female, anybody would be involved on either side of this equation. If you are a carpenter and you are building a house the quality of the one you see across the street, you served an apprenticeship to learn that trade. Dude with the black shirt and the bow tie. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. I'm dressed weird too. It's fine. See the contract on the post right there? On the post I'm pointing to, yes, that's an apprenticeship contract. So when you go around town, any other trade shop you stop at, be sure to look for one of those. If you don't see it laying out, ask the person in costume that you see when you go to another trade shop about an apprenticeship contract. White, black, native, free or enslaved, male or female would serve an apprenticeship. Could a slave be a carpenter?
Yes.
Could a woman be a carpenter?
Yes.
All right. Are there any questions about anything I've told you?
Nope.
Anything you've seen that you want to ask about? Yes. That is our saw pit. You really want to know?
Yes.
All right. You've been standing next to it the whole time. You see the two people, and they're operating a 7-foot long saw. We need a hole in the ground big enough in the pit for the man in the pit to operate the bottom handle of the saw. So that's called a saw pit. We use a pit saw with it, and that's how we'll turn a timber like this. This is an 8x15, I think. And we're going to turn it into 3x4s like you see leaning up next to the fence using that pit saw. So that's a saw pit. This is a saw house because we saw under it. If you all want, on your way out, you can take a look at the tool shed. On the right hand side in the tool shed is 3 pit saws. 2 of them are 6 foot long, 1 of them are 7 foot long. And that's what we use to make that big timber and stuff like you see leaning up next to the fence. Any other questions about anything you see?
No.
Are you sure? You answering for everybody?
I'm sure.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You gonna tie that back up and break it?
Thank
Simon, how do you feel?
Horrible, because tomorrow I have a really big day tomorrow.
That's gonna. It's so big. It's a secret door. Mason, that's where your room is. Is that actually a secret door up there?
You'll see.
We'll see. Like on the stairs.
Yeah. You'll find out. I want you to go in there and look around and tell me where you think it goes.
To a hallway. Because no, that was in World War II. Or one. Whichever there was bombings. Hey kid.
that in the first place. Go ban any of my channels. I actually want one.
Yeah, I know.
Go ban it. I don't.
Because you don't have to.
Seth, if I got banned, I wouldn't care.
I would. I would. Yeah, because I've spent $150. I can't. I won't have the same stuff. I have
I never said I.
Oh, I thought we were banning his YouTube.
I won't report him on Epic, but it's still up in the air about YouTube.
I don't even because whatever you report, it doesn't matter because Epic gave me YouTube hooks into it. It's just for some random.
Hey, you should put ninja in your thumbnail. How about he'll take it down?
Yes.
I don't want ninja in my thumbnail.
But you make Allie videos. You're the clickbait. Look at that video.
Stop being It doesn't tell you the pro players, right? I know that's okay. I will admit
that was annoying.
That is pretty shit. Okay, I've never made my videos. I'm never gonna make my videos that again because that is what makes it gonna go. Because they called it spam.
Because it's lying. You clickbaiter.
What?
You clickbait. You're no pro.
Yeah, but it's all my Jeffrey.
It's Josh.
And Josh reported me and said, not up playing Fortnite. And he got me spammed.
And then Jack did it.
Are you serious? Honestly, YouTube is some even if I do I was legit go and when I was on like just message like I know this dude and he's just trying to troll me and honestly they don't know. I will. Luke, you get the
subscribers and viewers. He's not, he would be on the bottom of the list. Seth, you realize you're unlikely for that to happen because you would be on the bottom of their priorities?
Yeah, no, you have no fans. Nobody's
that pro Fortnite player. I told you not to play hard. I love nuts. I told you not to play it.
Seth, you gotta look at the camera. Guys, listen, this is important. This is a on-death situation. Shut up and let me... Okay, Seth, look at the camera. What? Got merch? What? Got merch? No. Okay, then you have no fans.
Why do you have merch when you have 100 subscribers?
I don't know, you make it sound like it's a lot.
Okay, videotape this kid right here, only sex, and then if he reports me, I can send it to YouTube for leverage.
I've been recording you saying you're gonna beat him up this entire time.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, we can judge Mr. McLean. Oh yeah! It gets you in trouble.
I swear if you do that.
I wouldn't do that. Right. I mean, look.
You get my YouTube.
Oh yeah!
And you have to give it. Yes, and if you does, I will never talk to you. Even if you don't record.
You know, thank you, because this is great content.
I actually like playing. You thought of playing. No, you're the one who.
Daniel.
I have the most retarded laugh.